Hey guys, it is time for a mid-year homeschool update, and I'm going to share what has gone well, what have some of our challenges been, and what are some of the changes and adaptations that we have made during this homeschool season. So let's get started. First, let's start with what's going well. There are several things that are going well, and I'm not going to go through the entire list, but one thing that I was really trying to focus on this year was getting back into our morning routine of using our morning menus. I felt like as my kids, especially my teens, were getting older and doing more independent work, we had less and less that we were doing all together as a family. We used to do science all together and history all together, and now we're doing things that correlate with each other, but they're still doing it separately. So bringing back morning menus, or you might know it as morning basket time, was really, really big for us. We simplified it, made it a little bit shorter so that we could get through it faster and not slow down the whole day, knowing that they have a heavier workload, but still have that connection point in the morning. And we've been pretty darn consistent with that. I've even found that my kids are now old enough that if I have to rush off to a doctor's appointment or I'm not able to be there, I can hand it off to one of my teens to lead for the day. Obviously, I would rather be there as well, but it is nice that we can build that into the routine, and has helped us to stay more consistent and not falling off because mom was gone 2 days and that made us get out of whack and we kind of forget about it. Another good thing that has happened is my oldest daughter finished her Inquisicook cooking class. She has really loved this program. I cannot recommend it enough. She loved learning how to cook a wide variety of things, as well as learning the method behind how to cook these things. And now that she finished that a little bit early, she is moving into Life Skills 101 from Film School for Teens. It covers, yes, some cooking, but so much more than that. And she's really excited to dive into that. And speaking of Film School for Teens, the company that makes that life skills course, my second oldest son was really wanting to get into YouTube stuff. I mentioned that back in January that he wanted to start the YouTube for Teens course. He is learning so much from the program. He is working on filming videos, learning about editing, really understanding some of the strategy behind having a YouTube channel. And I'm just so proud and so excited to see where that takes him. My teens are also doing great when it comes to their science and their history. We've had some rough seasons since my last update, and I'll tell you more about that here in a second, but they've actually managed to maintain keeping up with their science and their history and with their other subjects quite well, thanks to having Homeschool Panda. We recently started going back to using Homeschool Panda with my teens, especially now that they have school devices where they can check their checklist there. And we have it on our Cozy Like calendar where they can go there and they can see exactly what's assigned for the day. And I can keep track a little bit better on where they're at and what they're doing. This has been really helpful for keeping everybody on the same page. And it's been nice when I have assigned work to them and they're unable to do it or unable to keep up with the pacing, they can come to me and say, hey mom, I have some missed assignments because I think this is going a little fast for me. And then I'm able to adjust a little bit better. So it's just helping us have better communication back and forth and less frustration. So what has been hard about the season? Well, sickness has hit, but not necessarily our family. Sickness has actually hit all of the families around us. So it's kind of put a little bit of a kink in the plans when it comes to our homeschool co-op schedules, or when it comes to like my two daughters who go to my friend Wendy's house for some of their instruction. So we've gotten a little bit behind. We don't worry about that because all of our plans and our goals are just that. They're tentative plans, broad goals that we are shooting for, but understanding that life happens. Learning has continued to happen, but it has just kind of thrown off a few things. For instance, we have a science co-op where we meet every 2 weeks to do the science experiments together with other families that are doing Apologia's science. And we always have to decide when we miss a week, it means that we won't be meeting for a month in between. So we have to decide, are we going to stick with the old lesson? Or are we going to keep proceeding with the new lesson? And so we've been just doing a little bit of those kinds of adjustments to our homeschool schedule, but still staying at a good pace. We've been doing things as well when it comes to the girls having to miss some of their school because of Wendy's family being sick. We were able to do some things via video calls with them. So that was a great way. If you've got people who are maybe still contagious, but feeling well enough to participate in school activities, you can utilize digital resources to help you with that. And when the days when they weren't feeling well enough, we still worked on practicing review concepts and working through maybe watching some YouTube videos or playing some Khan Academy Kids that can help keep them fresh and not lose track of of the different things that they've been learning. Appointments for my daughter with medical needs have definitely picked up. In January and December, we only had a handful of appointments, and then in February, we have had about 3 appointments every single week. So it has been really, really jam-packed full, and those are actual doctor's appointments. That's not including her regular therapy or tutoring or things like that. So it has been quite busy, and it has made February kind of a challenge when it comes to school. We've also been seeing some mental health struggles, and so we've had to kind of slow down a little bit on the academics. However, that being said, we have found that having the routine of school is still incredibly important, and that even when seasons and her health get really, really bad, it's actually not beneficial to her at all for us to pause school. Even though we could make a good argument to doing so, it's better for us to just scale back how much school we're actually doing with her and keep to kind of our more C schedule, our more basic, bare bones, bare minimum schedule with her, because it helps to give her that continuity. It helps to give her that consistency and something to hold on to in the midst of sort of a chaotic season. So what adaptations or changes have we been utilizing in our homeschool? Well, honestly, I've mentioned a few already, using some of those digital Zoom type call resources. We've definitely made adaptations in our pacing that we've done for some of our things as these little hiccups have come up. But honestly, 2 big adaptations we've done. I mentioned in my last homeschool update that I was trying to figure out what to do with my son, who is going through the automotive auto upkeep course. He was really struggling with the written tests that were given within that program, and we just could not seem to get past that. You guys were amazing and we're like, hey guys, have you ever thought about just giving it to him orally and having him orally narrate the answers? And I talk about that all the time on my channel, and yet it just never occurred to me. So I started doing that with him. I took the test questions and I just verbally asked him for his response, and he was able to give me all the right answers. He showed how much he was really absorbing and understanding, which was my biggest concern, was wanting to make sure we were having understanding, and that just really, he would get tripped up on the written language aspect of it. He would start to second guess or be like, well, are they asking this or are they asking that, and kind of get in his head. So I'm really glad we moved to doing oral narration, and that's just an encouragement to you guys. If you have a child who's really struggling with testing in high school, but you still need to check for that understanding, consider doing oral narrations instead. Another change that we have made is actually a curriculum addition, not a full-on curriculum change. So my daughter, who has medical special needs, who is developmentally at a different stage than her age, has been struggling in math for a long time. I've been talking about that. We've tried a lot of different things. Her doctors had recommended she do more of a mastery-based approach, so we had started introducing Math UC with her, working on that alpha level, working on just basic addition and subtraction, and it has gone well and it's been good for her. That being said, we're realizing that because of her genetic disorder and some of the other things that are going on with her cognitively, that she may never actually officially master those concepts. She understands them, she can do them, but actually like quickly getting those facts down, she's really, really struggling with that. So I want to continue to have a heavy focus on that, to really drill that in and hopefully help her to have a better, quicker understanding of those things. But I did not want to hold her back from some of the other opportunities or the other math concepts that are out there. In addition to that, I wanted to add more games and fun. And I could do that on my own individually, but I'm a very busy homeschool mom, and trying to figure out the best games to incorporate and when to do them and what to play and what's reinforcing things she's already learning would have taken a lot of extra time. So because of that, we decided to add another program to her math. Now, if you had told me I was going to be doing 2 math programs with any of my children, I would have laughed. But my friend Rachel from 7 All and my friend Wendy from Pim Prep Pray actually both give their kids 2 math curriculums, and they find it actually works really, really well. Now, the key to this is to make sure that if you're using 2 math curriculums, that neither are too overly bearing. I would not recommend something that's giving 50 problems a day and then giving another really heavy, intensive practice curriculum at the same time. And again, I'm not sure that we'll continue doing this long term. We might just transition completely over to this new program, but we decided to go ahead and add Apologia's math to her program. I did the assessment test. I do highly recommend doing that if you are looking into any kind of math switches, as maths don't teach things at the same levels at the same times. And so she kind of tested mid-book of level 1. So we are starting, we're going to do some review of the beginning concepts, but go a little bit faster since it's not her only math program that she's doing. We're going to start more in the middle, and we have actually been doing that over the past week or two, just kind of getting her caught up. And now we're ready to start in the middle and work on those concepts that are a little bit more challenging to her. I like the fact that it has the games at the beginning of the book that kind of work on that concept. And so we can play those games. She can do them with her siblings. She can do them with me. She can do them with her dad. So it's a really great opportunity to have that hands-on learning component. The worksheets are short, and so are Matthew C's, so they really kind of pair well together. I will be sure to let you guys know more about what we think as we get into it more, but I wanted to let you know about that update. I hope what you've gotten from this whole video is how you can tweak and adjust curriculums and how many things there really are that go into figuring out what is right for your child. If you could use some help when it comes to picking curriculum or figuring out how to adapt curriculum you already have, I would love to see you over at Curriculum Week at Made to Homeschool. We're actually doing a Curriculum Week kickoff, which is just a live Q&A with several different team members from Made to Homeschool, and it is open to anybody. You don't have to be a member to join. So I'm going to leave a link down below where you guys can go put your email in, and you'll be emailed an invite to that live event. We would love to see you there and be able to answer your curriculum questions. And if you need more help and want more support and encouragement, you can always join Made to Homeschool with the free trial and join us for the entire week of Curriculum Week, where we're going to be helping you when it comes to either what you're currently working on or picking and choosing curriculum for next year.